Over 150 women had courage to walk into this courtroom, most to be publicly identified and outed to the world as a Nassar victim for the first time, yet they had the grace and the courage to speak their truth and become survivors. To each survivor, thank you. Thank you for coming forward, for trusting us, for doing what is so hard and difficult, especially when you reported to the police, especially to those involved in our charging cases, and especially to those who have had to testify in court. On behalf of the entire Attorney General and Michigan State University Police Department team, we believe you and always have. We thank you. We are proud to stand up for and with you, and you are our heroes. We have seen the worst of humanity and the best in these past few days. The pain and destruction caused by evil, selfish takers like this defendant. But we have also seen how one voice can start a movement, how reckoning can deliver justice, how a community can support and empower and start healing. During these last 7 days on our screen, you have seen countless young, innocent faces. That was on purpose. Every day at this podium that I stand, you saw strong, brave, fierce survivors come here. But that's not who Larry Nassar saw. He was attracted and abused to those young girls in those pictures. But, Your Honor, what you did not see are the sweet, young, innocent faces of girls who have been spared a similar fate because these brave women all spoke up and, more importantly, never gave up. There is no doubt he would have continued to abuse unabated for the rest of his life. I tell these survivors to be proud of what you have accomplished because you are survivors. You have referenced the army of survivors that this proceeding and his abuse has created. This past weekend at women's marches around the country, signs with Kyle Stevens, quote, someone that the world did not even know was affiliated with this case some 5 days before. Those quotes were raised on signs. Little girls don't stay little forever. They turn into strong women who have come back to destroy your world. You heard from Jennifer Rood Bedford, and she concluded by saying, stand for truth, resolve for change, be committed. At this particular moment in history, this sentencing hearing will be viewed as a turning point in how our community, our state, our nation, our culture looks at sexual abuse. This courtroom in the Ingham County Circuit Court was where the shame that many survivors felt was exorcised from them and put where it belongs, right on him. When each survivor came forward and shared their name, told their truth, supported each other, that shift grew. The world has witnessed what happens when victims are treated with respect, dignity, empathy, compassion, and are truly supported by police, prosecutors, and the criminal justice system and courts. What is obvious is that a strong group of determined women can in fact change the world and will. The fact that the women led the investigation, the prosecution team, and that 3 female judges now sentenced defendant Nassar is poetic justice. As I reflect on the last 7 days of the sentencing hearing, it became clear that each day more women and girls were empowered. It was evidenced by our growing number, people that were reaching out to us to come to speak their truth. These women and girls have transformed themselves before our very eyes. From victim to survivor to champion for justice and advocates for change. And all of this on the world outside will carry on. But I want to recenter you and this court and all involved back on the reason we're here. the sentencing of defendant Larry Nassar for his admitted conduct against numerous young girls. He sexually assaulted them. He did so under the guise of medical treatment, and he did so for his own sexual purpose and gratification. He carried out his plot through a decades-long process he honed and perfected, creating perfect conditions for his predatory behavior. Until these brave women brought it all down. Sentencing, Your Honor, must protect, punish, and deter. Through your sentence, I ask you to do all three. Judge Aquilina, I ask you to bring these victims the justice they so deserve. We ask you to follow the sentence agreement and sentence the defendant to a minimum of 40 years to at least 125 years in prison, or a sentence tail that you see fit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your words.
This is what happens when you stand together. Justice
On behalf of defendant,
for all. Perverted, sick man. Justice has been served.